Recording in progress. All right. We're live on Facebook now. And then we have Robert Joseph, who's coming in just a minute. We're live on Instagram. Oh, I almost forgot. YouTube. All right, Team ECI. Here we go, team. And then Madeline, if you can unmute yourself, please do. All right, because I want Miss Madeline to go first if she can, and then Dr. Magali, and then Mr. Belfont and Mr. Will, if all of you can, for sure.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
My name is Madeline. I'm an administrator. I'm also an author, and it's really to teach Haitian Americans about our history, YouTube, and I have my first in-person event, is one of the panelist members. And yeah, I'm also a member of Team ECI, and I just love what we're doing. The work that we're doing is important, and looking forward to good information tonight.
Thank you, Miss Madeline. Thank you so much. Dr. Magali, are you able to unmute yourself, beautiful lady?
I can unmute and open up my camera.
Yes, 2 in 1. Don't you look snazzy tonight? Okay, lady.
Yes, Dr. Magali, what's up?
New glasses, new glasses.
Yeah.
But, I'm an inner city principal. Well, I'm trying to become a published author like my sister Madeline here, because I just produced an article that was selected. It's about Afro-Caribbean principals and the necessity to mentor and how they're impacting education in America. So obviously it's from my lens as an Afro-Caribbean leader. So it will be published in the Journal of New York Association for Public Education. So I hope to emulate my sister Madeline here.
That
one day.
Awesome. I'm loving it.
That is incredible. Thank you, Dr. Magali. I'm emulating you.
So, but aside from that, I'm a mother, I'm an aunt, I'm a fierce champion and advocate for children, regardless of whose children they may be. And I believe in the power of information to empower each other, because for everyone we lift, then that is one less child or adult who joins the underground economy or engage in illegal activities. I do think that moving forward, that we do have to come together as a community to see how we can impact the midterm elections, because if we allow the Republicans to take control of the Senate and the House of Representatives, Joe Biden's agenda, in spite of how we may feel about him, he's better for America at this point in time in this season than if we allow Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and all those other racists to take control of the 2 executive branches, because there will be no ACA, the Affordable Care Act. There will be no Social Security to enjoy when we become of age. There are a number of things that we will no longer have access to. Now, thanks to Biden, we had the child care incentive since COVID. There were a number of things that he's done. I'm grateful for the fact that he postponed that moratorium on student loans. Girl, I can kiss his feet. Yes. Because I'm nose deep in student loans because of my degree as well as for my children. Wow. So that's so as I posted in the chat, the Society of Haitian Supervisors and Administrators are hosting an educational conference on Saturday, May 21st in New York City. We're looking for presenters, and the theme is reclaiming our excellence. But we're also looking to get the word out so that we have a very successful event. So please advertise on your platform. I can send you the flyer. And so come one, come all. And the good thing is we will feed you, and it's free. Two of my favorite F words, free and food.
Free and food.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Magali, and we will be sure to share that information. And as I was sharing with my beautiful sister here, before we got started this evening, here on the AniYa show, we are now doing the advertisement thing for a number of companies, and we have over 500,000 connections throughout our social media, as well as on our various platforms and emails and things like that. So let's talk about that for sure and see what we can do to really spread the word. I don't know much about that organization. Please, before we keep going, tell us more about this organization that you're referring to, that you're inviting us to, because I want to know more before I start talking.
Okay, so the organization is in its 4th year of existence. It is in partnership with the Council of Supervisors and Administrators, and that's the union that provides, but that addresses benefits and legal support for principals, assistant principals, educational administrators, as well as daycare directors. One of the things at the moment that the CSA is doing as the parent company of Society of Haitian Supervisors and Administrators, there's a lawsuit on the books on behalf of daycare directors who tend to be women, and they tend to be Black or Latino women. They have to have the same credentials as New York City public school principals, but they do not have the same pay. It's a difference of 50% or less.
Wow.
Right. So we're trying to close that pay disparity, so that because they have the exact same credentials, the exact same requirements, but their pay has always been substandard, and we believe it's because they are of minority heritage. So the organization as well consists of principals, assistant principals, EA. I'm talking about SASHA, the Society of Haitian Supervisors and Administrators, and we cater to teachers, paraprofessionals, and anyone who wants to support the organization. We offer a lot of free events. Every month we have an event. Our next event prior to May 21st is April 29th at the Mateo's restaurant in Howard Beach. And so April 29th is just a social event to network, to get to know people, to establish yourselves. But May 21st is an educational conference because we want to engage in conversation about how are we going to tackle educational inequality, how are we tackling servicing children, Black, brown children, but children of Haitian ancestry in particular, who are failing in various districts throughout the system. But they're not the only ones, for the record, who are not doing well. There are a number of reasons why they may not be doing well. And one in particular is that parents don't know their rights. Parents are not informed. There are lots of opportunities that exist. It's just a matter of being able to broker the information and broker partnerships and educating our people to know how they can get certain services for their children, or whether their child is above average, average, gifted, or learns differently. There are resources out there, and parents are entitled to get an interpreter, a translator, and materials are supposed to be in their native language.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Magali. So
Dr. Magali, if you need a speaker, I'm there.
Oh, okay, all right. So maybe we can talk offline as to because the topic is reclaiming our excellence, and you can tell me what exactly you want to do and how long you need. Oh, great.
Sure. Yeah, that's a topic, like, as you know, after my own heart. So yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful. All right.
You have me as well. You have me as well as the host of the AniYa show, but also somebody who's very, I graduated high school at 16, went straight to university, and I've traveled abroad, studied abroad. A lot of times our Black young people or their parents do not know of the opportunities out there for us that are available. A lot of times we're subjected to staying in our communities, in the hoods. A lot of young people don't even travel and leave their boroughs. So there needs to be education and empowerment in these circles. And you have me for sure as an author, an edutainer. I call myself an edutainer. and a leader in this industry. So yes, put us both down.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you. Awesome. I'm excited. All right. All right. Now we have Mr. Belfort who's going to speak and share who he is. Mr. Belfort?
Yes, because I see they are the friendly English here because I try to speak better English. I don't know if everybody understand what I say.
Yes.
My name is James Balfleur. Do business for under contractor. I do limo. I do taxi transportation. I'm bus driver for Dade Miami County. That's my professional name. In Haiti, I was in electricity. Now I am the family, the three children. Mary. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm great tonight. I with us because they are the very Imagine people. You speak there. We see maybe we see sun. I see sun now. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it is. For organize is the best thing. Organize is the best thing. If you try, I don't know if everybody speak Creole very well. I'm comfortable for speak my language.
Well, we are live as well. So nous live avec moun qui parle anglais, espagnol, tout langue net. So,
Okay.
pas de problème. Parlez en créole et puis m'a translate.
Ok. Je dis c'est un plaisir que nous senti vraiment content d'avoir parmi nous. Que réunion très important, grand pile bagaille qui commence par le dégager. Et comme tu dis toujours, non, pas James Belfleur, qui ça nous t'a vraiment nous former ça une communauté haïtienne qui est dans le 10e département, qui ne faut pas quitter moun utiliser chaque vote citizenship haïtien, moun qui a nationalité haïtienne, qui va l'utiliser dans chaque élection, mais nous avons vote nous faire la différence pour chaque haïtien qui vit dans le 10e département.
Yes.
Et là, ça veut dire que au lieu que nous voyons l'autre monde, on choisit des candidats haïtiens qui ont représenté nous pour nous voir Washington DC, qui pourra discuter pour haïtiens. Ça veut dire que tout autant que nous pouvons là, c'est l'autre monde qui a voté, nous pouvons faire communauté. Je ne dis pas plus, c'est là et ça va être dit.
All right, for all of our English-speaking people, he is happy to be with us this evening. For those that are watching now or those that will watch later, his name is Mr. James Belfleur. He is out of Miami, and I actually know him through the activism community, and that's how we were able to get connected. And he would love to see more unification in our Haitian communities for sure, because we are struggling and lacking in those areas, and we need representation in Washington, D.C. desperately. And he would love to see us have a coalition where we could send those that are qualified to represent us in the big house. And I think I concur, and he is right on target with his message. So thank you. Sorry, this whole loud thing. Thank you, Mr. Belfort. Merci, merci. Nous très contents ou là avec nous. Thank you. All right, excellent.
You are welcome.
Oh, and he's married with 3 children, and he works very hard. That was the last part I forgot. I love it. Excellent, excellent. Okay, perfect. Now we have Mr. Will, and then we're gonna jump into our story matter, our communications for tonight.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Sorry, I have my camera off because I'm trying to multitasking right now. My name is Will Osselin. I'm from Elmont, New York. Grew up in Brooklyn. I don't have a big platform, but I'm very handily. So I have a small business. It's not pretty big. I don't have a lot of staff.
Excuse me, sorry. When did you get a small business? And we've never talked about this. What?
Because I'm not really out there pushing it like that. Okay. You know, I'm busy with, kids and work, my main job, But I do fix residential boilers and residential air conditioning.
That is awesome. Congratulations, sir. We love that. So,
Yeah. So if you guys ever need somebody, you got a boiler problem, got some heating problem, a little plumbing issue, you guys can reach out.
now that we know that, we will be reaching out because we have that a lot in my building, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You do Long Island?
Yeah, I do Long Island. Definitely, I do Long Island. I live in Elmont.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
look at that. You're
I
gonna-
do agree with the lady earlier, when she was referring to us coming collectively to try to make sure that we get reelected. I think the last two shows you had, I did touch base on that.
Mhm.
And I was stressing the fact that we don't have enough qualified candidates to go out there and win. And that's what we need. We need another Obama. We need a second Obama, I agree with what she said. We need to go out there and trying to come collectively make in the White House or the other branches, because what the politician does affect us. Okay. So the past 4 years, or I'm gonna say 4 years, the past 4 years that that happened is a proven proof, is a living proof of what they do, how it can affect us, from COVID to everything else, the economy and everything else.
Mhm.
So that's about it. That's what I have to say.
Wow, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I thank you so much for sharing with us. And we were just going to go to the subject matter, but we have a new friend on. I feel like we have somebody named Raphael who just joined us. Raphael,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
are
I
you there?
forgot to say, I am a father of 3. I'm married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see the beautiful
Father
little
of 3
ones on
girls.
Facebook. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congrats, congrats. I'm loving the Black men with their families on here. Woohoo!
Make sure your little girls, I see 2 little girls on the screen.
Uh,
So with all due respect, make sure you get them involved in STEM programs, coding, in the technology world, to prepare them for jobs that have yet to be created.
yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the insight.
And begin to teach them now about financial literacy.
That's it.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you.
May I just share too, before Raphael introduces himself, last night I was on a 3-way conversation with my cousin and my really, really great friend from Atlanta. She's like my sister. And we were discussing how my 5-year-old baby cousin is taking coding now. And I'm so happy and excited for her because she's 5 and she's probably gonna be able to do bigger and greater things. And like Dr. Magley said, she's probably going to be able to create jobs or have jobs lined up for her at a very young age. And I've been pushing the STEM thing as well as, these robotic things for years before we as Black people even had an opportunity to even be in their spaces, because this was like an all white thing with STEM programs, as well as with the robotics and different, I want to say competitions. I learned about this in South Florida. And I was just appalled that we didn't have any Black young people that were involved. And now I'm seeing a shift. And I'm excited. I'm excited because these jobs are typically going to the white techie kids, as we know in the past. And now we see a shift happening. And I'm so excited about that. So great job, Will and Dr. Magali, for talking about that. And when you teach them as they're young, they grow up into these spaces and they definitely learn and they definitely manifest greater things for themselves in the future, especially the economic thing. So thank you so much. Well, we just had this Ralph on. Maybe he'll join us again. I'm not sure who he even is, but hey, we'll welcome back anybody that wants to join us. Anything else before we go into the subject matter? Because tonight is a very important conversation we're having. Welcome to everybody that's watching on Facebook and Instagram. If you have any commentaries that you want to share, please do. we definitely want to communicate some very important information. And on Team ECI, in the group Team ECI, we talk about a number of topics, as you all know. And again, like I said, bring in your comments, share your comments and your concerns. Sorry, send your comments and your concerns that you may have in regards to tonight. Send anything that you feel that can be added to the subject. We talk about economics. We talk about increasing your wealth and decreasing your debt on this platform. We speak about, growing, financially more educated and things of that nature. And tonight, one thing that, came across my desk, and I think Will was actually a part of this conversation just a couple of days ago, but I'm bringing it back up on Team ECI during our meeting, because I really want to know how you all feel. I'm not sure if any of us talked about this modeling. I don't think was a part of that conversation, or Dr. Magali, but recently, within the past week or so, welcome Bay of Wakanda. She's on Instagram with us, as well as quite a few others that are watching. Thank you so much. Bring your comments, share the love. Recently, what came across my desk was so scary and crazy. It's in regards to eminent domain. I don't know if you all seen that subject, but I had to bring it back to Team ECI because this is what we do. We talk about these really serious situations and how we need to empower ourselves and learn what's happening around us. And the reason why I brought it back up is because, well, first of all, we have Larry, who's supposed to be on here with us tonight, but I think Larry got a new job and I think he's busy and tied up. But either way, he's our neighborhood real estate person, so he loves this type of topic. We see that in Harlem, things are being stripped away from us every day, and we have no control over what's happening. And I wanted to bring up this article, so let me share my screen with all of you, because I want to know how you all feel about this subject, and if it's fair that they, who they are, must have control over everything. And is it fair that they're able to strip the community of properties in such a way? Now, what I shared just the other day, after bringing the subject out, Florida, where, in South Florida, the good old boys and the racist, Republican rednecks, they do whatever they want in South Florida. They take your land, they take you, they kill you, they do whatever, right? But in New York, I thought we had a little bit more rights, but apparently I was wrong. So because also our politicians, which we need more representation of better politicians, mind you, we literally have a situation where I think there were a lot of behind the scenes deals and things were done in order for certain communities to obtain certain powers to be able to do what they're doing. So here we go. It says 125th Street building seized by MTA for 2nd Avenue subway. The state has filed its first plans to take over a privately owned Central Harlem building to make way for the long delayed subway line. It goes to say, Harlem, New York is still years away, but the 2nd Avenue subway's filings show the MTA is moving to seize a building on 125th that will be demolished as a part of the train's construction. Now, why am I reading this? You're probably thinking, oh, AniYa, it's for a train, it's for a train. Here's why I'm reading this and why it's important to know how we should own something, people. Please understand, it's very monies together. If we try to work together as a community, we can do more. It says the building at 120 West, 125th Street between Adam Clayton Powell and Malcolm X Boulevards is currently home to Fino, a men's clothing store. Though it sits about a half-mile west of the new subway line's planned terminus at Lexington Avenue, the MTA is acquiring the 125th Street site because it plans to build an unspecified, they don't even have the actual plan yet, unspecified an ancillary facility there, according to court records. An MTA spokesperson told Patch that the property's exact use has not even yet been determined, y'all, but said it will not be open to the public. It's right here. It's literally a block away. I'm on 125th Street. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where I'm located, but I'm on 125th Street, and Dr. Magali knows where my office is and where we do the shows from. We're literally down the block. Literally. On Wednesday, this is Wednesday of last week, the MTA filed documents in state court laying out plans to take over the building, which is currently owned by a private landlord, MKK Properties. It is the first of more than a dozen property seizures that the MTA plans to make as it clears room for the subway, a power granted to it by the state's eminent domain law. That's why I wanted to read this, because of the eminent domain law, which allows governments to take control of private land if it will be redeveloped for public use. there's a lot more things that are said during this, in this article, but that's where I wanted to basically leave it off. It's talking about how literally because of the eminent domain law, which let me just read for problem, like they can seize people's property. It says, what is eminent domain? It is another word for condemnation, the right of the government to take private property for public use. Various examples would be to make way for a road or public park, or to provide housing for disadvantaged persons. The United States and New York constitutions require the government to pay you fair compensation if it takes your property. But let's be real, will they pay fair wages for people's property? Number one, and it says seizing, right? And in this example, they say they can take, or they have the right to privately, take your space or what have you. And there's examples of that. Yes, we understand. But in the article, it stated that they will seize the property, which in other words means they can take that property and probably not even pay anything for it. In order to utilize it. On Team ECI, we talk often about these different scenarios and different ways that we could acquire property, but we don't own anything as a Black people typically. And it's so bothersome when we have the disadvantage already, and now they are taking more property from us. And hold on one second, we have a comment coming in. What's their definition of fair? So real quick, we have on Instagram a question from Bay of Wakanda. When they say their definition of fair could be anything, right? They're the government, they're the rule makers. So for them, fair could mean because they're gonna build, another Eiffel Tower in 25 years, but they have to get ready. For them, that could be fair. That's just an example I'm giving you. Like they make up things as they go along. As we could see in this article, they're seizing people's property and land, and they don't even have the blueprint for what they need it for. Okay, come. Alexis has a statement. Would you like to be seen on camera, darling?
Not really, because I just have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead. Alexis has a question, and then I want everybody else to please respond.
So as I'm looking at the picture.
Yes,
On
ma'am.
the internet.
Yep.
What about that big old building that they have there, like the Bath and Body Works? Are they going to tear that down, or is that
So
going to be a part of the?
That's another thing. How do you just, now here's a very good question, and I've been pondering on this myself. Right next to Fino's is like Victoria's Secret, is Burlington. It's a mall. It's like a 4-story mall, but because of the COVID, a lot of things are not being occupied the same. So they may utilize COVID as an example as to why they need to tear this down, because COVID has restricted people's shopping abilities. However, does that mean then you're gonna think that there's an increase of footage going through this area? But no, here's another thing. The train is scheduled to be on Lexington. Why again do they need to take people's property between Malcolm X Boulevard and Adam Clayton Powell? That is something that is so frustrating at this point. It's almost like, are you kidding me right now? But the point of me bringing all of this out is because we as a Black people typically don't know that we have rights, because when this type of stuff comes through, we're like, oh, you can take our property, no problem. But they need to be able to fight this.
So the person of the Fino shop, they don't own that building, they're just renting the building?
Actually, it says they own it. MKK Properties. Do me a favor and do a quick Google search and see who is MKK Properties. And then, of course, anybody else that wants to comment, Bay of Wakanda, keep your comments coming. Dr. Magali, do you have anything that you want to add to that or share? I know you be having a lot to share, darling, about these things. Please let us know. And anybody else, if you have anything else that you want to add, because I'm so perturbed by what's happening. And I recall in South Florida on the Treasure Coast, a lot of properties were seized in the Treasure Coast and Port St. Lucie for eminent domain practices, but they did pay the homeowners because there was a situation, if I'm not mistaken, like a gas something that was built and it was causing cancer in the area. So I recall that, but that was for a good reason. But this situation is a little.
But isn't there just like literally 2 train stations right here? So I'm confused as to why they're putting another train station there.
Well, it's going to be a tourist attraction for sure, but Dr. Magley's unmuted. Let's get Dr. Magley, and then we're going to take Mr. Biko, and then we're going to come back to you, Miss Alexis. Go ahead, Dr. Magley.
Sure. So I wanted to bring up the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Ooh,
There were a number of Haitian and immigrant families
Mm.
who had homes there, as well as who not only had homes, but some of them had restaurants, etc.
Businesses.
So to create the Barclay Center, they basically bought those people out and did not give them what fair value. So, here's the thing. These organizations have high-class corporate lawyers.
Mm.
And so when the people who are the homeowners, the business owners, do not have the money, the power, the clout to really defend and negotiate their position, so that's where it's unfair to the people. Because I can tell you right now, what the organization, and I forgot the name of the organization that bought out all the homes and restaurants in that area. So one person, for example, because I used to host my end of year parties there for my staff at this restaurant, and they told her they didn't give her any financial compensation.
What?
Hold on a second. What they did offer her, that she would have a spot in the Barclay Center in the eatery area. So that was the exchange, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that because she didn't necessarily have proper qualified legal representation, or any, I don't even remember whether or not she had any, that she agreed to have them take over that spot so that her restaurant can have a spot in the Barclay Center. And I can tell you, I've been to the Barclay Center, her restaurant is nowhere to be found. Now, I don't know what the reasons for that may be, but I'm saying to you, at least in one case, I knew the restaurant owner and she was not financially compensated. However, I also have a childhood friend of mine whose father owned a home right not too far from where the Barclay Center was constructed. And she said that her father was compensated appropriately. But what may be appropriate for an elderly Haitian family may not necessarily be the price value of what he could have gotten if all he wanted to do was sell his home and relocate to another state.
Right.
Because right now the brownstones in that area are going for $3 million. He didn't get $3 million. I can tell you that much.
That part. I lived in a brownstone there, actually above a very popular restaurant. My great auntie lived there for 40 years. When she started living there in 19 whatever, I mean, way before I was even born, 40 plus years, I think. Anyway, the rent was like $200, if I'm not mistaken, a month. And today the rent is $3,000 a month.
Yeah, for like a 2-bedroom.
It's literally like a 2-bedroom, but the way it's shaped, it's like a 1-bedroom.
A 1.5 bedroom.
1.5 bedroom and a super huge closet that could be a bedroom with no windows. But I think it does have a window. I'm so confused. That whole thing was such a mess. And the homeowner was such a jerk. And he was a high-powered attorney, Haitian, like mulatto, high-powered attorney, complete jerk. I'm not going to say much about it because somebody might know him and be like, AniYa's talking about you again.
So in the area, what they've done since those people lost their homes and businesses, they now have a bunch of skyscrapers all around the Barclay Center. And you know what? They're not people who look like the people on this group owning those condos and high-priced real estates.
Yeah.
So that's part of the environmental racism, the inequity, the economic gap that is persistent in this country because capitalism was built on the haves and the have-nots.
Oh, hi. Oh, exactly. Come, Biko. Mr. Biko is going to share real quick.
Well, this is another example that the Black community need to be better organized and need to be more independent, develop jobs for ourselves, and own businesses. 125th from the east side right up to the west side. The west side is owned by Columbia University and some of the east side. They are going to put 20-story buildings along 125th. So many of us who are not able to handle that, they are going to displace.
Yep.
Because we are not organized. Many of us don't know how to be organized. Many of us are not connected to organizations. And that's some of the problems.
Well,
that
we don't
face.
have the power too, because when we get into power, like said person who just got booted out, we sell out our communities very quickly for the dollar. And then we realize that said person never had the power to begin with because he was a Black man in position and they set him up. That's all I have to say about
One
that.
of the calamities of our community is the family situation. Many of our young people never learn how to work in organizations while in college and before college. And again, the absent daddy element in our homes has prevented many of our young people from learning to compete with others. The daddy element do provide a serious basis for competitions. And when we learn how to work together, we'll be able to build and do things.
Thank you, Mr. Biko.
You are very welcome.
Hotep.
I want to give Mr. Biko a little pushback because I think it's more than just, he's not back on the screen.
Right here, hold on. He has a.
So, Mr. Biko, with all due respect, sir, it's more than just about collaboration or collectivity. It's also about supporting each other. Because I know if we talk about the diaspora, whether it's Haitians, Haitian Americans, Jamaicans, and people from all over the globe, we don't tend to support our own. One, and two, our own oftentimes, when we do patronize them, they don't appreciate and respect our dollar. So yes, we do need to engage in collective participation and support, but we also need to understand that when I support your business, respect me as a customer in terms of the manner in which you engage me in discussion or you engage me in the transaction.
But if we learn how to work together and be organized, we'll also have to learn how to help each other be part of what we're doing. And that will involve feeding each other, clothing each other, and housing each other. And I will leave it there.
Thank you,
I have a question for support, Mr. What is your name again?
Mr. Biko. He's gonna hear you because he has to step out, but lap done deal. So go ahead.
Okay, this one day for most Black people don't want to share the information for each other Black people. The one thing he said they organize. Organize is the first thing. How can organize for the financial economy to make the living for Black people be better, to pass the generation and generation to be successful life. That's why the time is the time right now to Black people to be understand, to be act, to move on forward. Don't let these people, I don't want to use the white people, let people use for each other the Black, because you have the strong Black. We have to keep your future Black in good shape. That's the only way I can say it. It's time to act. Thank you so much. You're coming tonight to use this word, organize.
Yes. Thank you. He's happy about that word, organized. I love it. We have a couple of comments coming in from Instagram. Bay of Wakanda says, we also cover for those within our communities who do more harm than good. We need to stop that. I think that goes hand in hand with my sister, Dr. Magali, for sure. And she said, that's also why we need our own attorneys in our communities, because if we had more representation, we would do a lot better. When you bring up the whole subject of the Barclays Center, Dr. Magali, that crushes my spirit, because I wasn't around in Brooklyn at the time of when the Barclays Center, for example, was being built and things like that. But from what I've heard and gathered, they utilized people like Jay-Z, Jigga Man, to help incorporate the Barclays Center and help get into the community through a famous celebrity, you know, through his connections with the community. And he sold out the community a lot. And he got like 3% or something of, you know, the Barclays. I'm not sure if that's true, but these are things that I've heard since relocating to Park Slope and listening to some of the stories, because I wondered how this whole thing, you know, came out of nowhere with the Barclays Center and downtown Brooklyn looking like that. I'm not even sure if that's necessarily downtown Brooklyn, but the whole area is just insane. Also, an African sister shared with me, there's a little parcel of land. There's like this tiny little space right next to the Barclays Center, down the block just a little bit, across the street from like Whole Foods and things, not even Whole Foods, sorry, Starbucks. And it's like this little tiny piece of spot. And what she shared with me that was so crazy was that literally years ago, many moons ago, the African community would hold these events in this little spot. I'm talking about, it's like so small. And, you know, other communities saw that space and realized that they could do something with it and turned it into a skyscraper, basically like a ginormous building, and literally put apartments there, multi-million-dollar apartments right there in that tiny space. And she said, AniYa, my heart broke when I came back around and I saw what they did with the space that we used to occupy. And now it's literally worth millions and millions, and we have no stake in it. So I keep pushing the agenda that we have to own properties and do our part. And I'm just baffled by the way things are happening in our communities and how we're still at the bottom of the totem pole. But I hope that Team ECI is one of those groups that can really help push the agenda, and we can really do more together. With me doing what I do, you know, I have access to loans and grants and funding, which I'm still trying to work on, right, Alexis? We're still trying to work on getting different things together. But why not put our monies together and our finances together to really try to make a difference in our communities and really try to work together? I mean, that's something that really, that's something that will put so much joy in my heart if we can get some development. And then Alexis, I know you had something to share moments ago. I hope you still remember. Everybody else, write in your comments. I feel like there's more comments coming through. Sorry. Oh, there are some comments. Go ahead. I think you forgot. Well, when you remember, come back to me. I'm not sure if it was about eminent domain or, oh, we can purchase property through auctions. Dr. Alexis, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let me come on with that one, because that's something that I wanted to get into.
Yes, and every Thursday they actually have auctions, but I think you have to pay cash for like land. Is it true, Dr. Magali, you have to pay a lot of, it's cash for auctions?
So if you're engaging in auctions or purchasing real estate through liens, yes, when you go to the auction, and if indeed you are the highest bidder, then you have to have your cashier's check with, let's say, years ago, it was like a $10,000 cashier's check or bank check. And then within 30 or 45 days, you have to have whatever the difference of your purchase into the courts. Yes. But I said it before and I'll say it again. It may be pricey or exceptionally expensive in the New York City area to invest in a home, but that does not preclude the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area where homes used to be 20 grand. That does not preclude Maryland, where there are a number of vacant homes that are $26,000, $30,000. You just have to be able to commit to repairing those homes and take a chance on it. My husband has someone who went to school with him, regular man, but that regular man who's now a New York City teacher, he has 8 homes in Pennsylvania, and he bought them at 20,000, 24,000. And can I tell you, he's been able to pay a tennis instructor $60,000 a year cash to provide tennis instruction one-on-one to his son, not because of his New York City salary, but because of the 8 homes that he owns out of New York and the revenue. And here's the other thing that's a brilliant thing for us to share. The revenue from his home is from the state, because every single home is a Section 8 facility
Yep.
that the government pays the rent. So he does not have the headache to call up and complain, where's my rent money? Because the first of the month and sometimes a few days before the first of the month, all his dollars are in his bank account through direct deposit.
Direct deposit.
So the other piece of information that we need to keep under our hat is that when you do become a landlord or homeowner, do not issue annual leases. You don't issue annual leases because if somewhere down the road the person loses their job or whatever, you do month to month, because that way it makes it easier and quicker to get rid of a problematic tenant.
I like those tips, honey. You like those tips, Alexis? And let me ask you, with that $60,000 payment towards this young man's tennis dreams, I bet he needs to be a Venus and Serena. He better be better, because I'm coming for him. Is this young man doing something with this 60 grand?
His father is able to pay that kind of money because his father's a real estate investor.
But what is he doing with the occupation that he has going on with this tennis life? What I mean,
well, the kid is 13 years old, and that's what he told his father he wants to do. So his father's investing in his future, paying somebody that kind of money annually to help his son, develop the necessary tennis experiences to make him tennis worthy down the road professionally.
We're going to keep up with you, Dr. Magali, and follow up about this young man, because I hope he is something huge later. That's 60,000 starting at 12 or 13. He'll be 18 in just a few. That's a whole lot of damn money. All right. I'm not a mathematician. Hi, can you add me back in the group? Sure, Sylvans. Send us a message at 347-617-6873. 347-617-6873. Also, Bay of Wakanda says we need to learn from him. We need to get this brother onto Team ECI. What do you think, sister? And get us motivated, because we need to get that motivation from this brother who's doing such great things. And this is what we're trying to implement more in Team ECI. People like that with these stories, how did they do it? Why did they do it? And literally how we can learn from them. These are the things that we want to communicate with our team here. And like I said, I've just recently joined Chase Bank as a mentee, and I'm learning some great things through Chase and through other organizations. And who would have thought this little Haitian Black girl would be sitting at the table with these high-powered bankers to discuss my little business ideas. Hey man, that's gonna be worth something someday, a lot of something someday, right? So we cannot be afraid to have big dreams and go for them. If anybody's watching tonight and you want to be a part of Team ECI, you're going to be connected with myself and any of these lovely members of our team, please join us at 347-617-6873. Again, 347-617-6873. Just text and say, AniYa, please add me to Team ECI. This is something that I want to be a part of, and I want to learn and grow with the community. Yes, please, Bay of Wakanda, send us a message on 347-617-6873, and you'll be connected with the group. So with that being said, I saw Mr. James' hand. Mr. James, was your hand up to say something?
Yes. Miss Dr. Magali said, I have one house in Philadelphia.
Oh.
How can to connect for this guy to put my house in Section 8? That is my question to Miss Magali. I like to put my house in Section 8 because I try to sell it because my tenant give me too much problems to pay the house because I live in Florida. If you put it in Section 8, it's going to be good help for me.
I think, should he join the group, Dr. Magali, and then you guys can communicate all of that on Team ECI?
Yes.
Perfect. So Brother James Shea, just join us on Team ECI. You have my number. That's how you joined us today.
Yes, I got your number.
347-617-6873. Somebody's asking me to pin the number on Instagram. I don't know how to do all of that. Y'all forgive me. I'm a lot older than what I look, and this new generation knows how to do the pings and the pongs and the ticks and the talks. I don't know how to pin or nothing. So if you can see that phone number on Instagram, just join us and you'll be a part of Team ECI and you'll be able to get connected. So with that being said, anybody else have anything that they want to share? I wanted to share this subject this evening because it just broke my heart learning about this situation that's happening right under our nose. In, you know, the whole Harlem community. There's a lot more happening in Harlem. Oh, Sylvince is laughing, laugh out loud. He says, that's fine. You can laugh, y'all laugh away. Cause I promise you, I don't know how to pin and pong none of this stuff. In regards to Harlem, everything is just shooting up with the pricing. We're getting stripped away. Harlem is not the same Harlem. And within a couple of years, I heard that within a couple of years, 125th Street will look like 34th Street. And it's starting to look like that as we speak. And I feel like they've been utilizing some powers of some of the politicians that are in office to make some certain things happen. But here's another thing. As Black people, we're typically very lackadaisical with our ideas and our inventions and different things of that nature. When it comes to properties and ownership, we want everybody else to take care of our problems. But I love the fact that we're talking about this tonight. And look at this major connection between James and Dr. Magali. You never know what's going to happen, right? You never know if this brother that Dr. Magali is referring to can even do a session with us and communicate some of this information with us on how he did it. He's an inspiration. And he needs us to know, you know, the motivation behind how he did what he did and how he's doing presently, especially in these economic times that we're in, which is a frustrating situation. But in these times too, I want to share that in these times, a lot of people turn out to be multimillionaires during the most chaotic times. I don't know if you all are aware, but the most millionaires came about during the Great Depression in the 20s. Like that was when there was like this boom of you know, multimillionaires or millionaires rather in the 20s. One of the millionaires I think that came out of that time was Madam C.J. Walker with her hair product, right? I believe she became a millionaire in the 20s. And I'm looking at it like, oh my God, it's 2022. I have a couple of coins saved in my account, but I am nowhere near where I want to be as a millionaire or a multi-nothing. So it just, I think about things like that all the time. Like, how did they do it? Like, oh my God, Madam C.J. Walker was super smart, but she hustled and she fought hard to get that bag and she secured that bag. And now we see the evidence of her working hard. I mean, like 100 years later, people are still talking about Madam C.J. Walker and her accomplishments then. So I always want to motivate everybody that's a part of our team, a part of what we're doing here to never stop dreaming, number one. Continue to do what you have to do to reach that next level. Be like James. If you have a question, ask it. Like James literally was bold enough to say, I have a property in Philadelphia. These tenants are giving me a hard time. What do I have to do to connect with your friend, Dr. Magali, so I can get my property to get some Section 8 coins? Like, I love that. And that's what this platform is about. Networking, connecting, and bridging these broken bridges, right? Rebuilding the broken bridges. Another thing I wanted to share tonight is Dr. Magali just invited us to a very powerful event, and I want you all to be aware of that event. So I'm gonna have Dr. Magali, before we end, reiterate that information for sometime in May 21st, I think. And then something's happening over in Howard Beach somewhere as well. So I want Dr. Magali to reiterate that. And also on May 1st, I have an event that I'm going to. I'll be present at. And I'll be able to have a table there and share whatever business opportunities you all have. Let me know, because we're doing the advertisement thing with Team ECI, but not really even with Team ECI, under the AniYa show, under the brand that I have with my company. Just to let you all know, I have a background in public relations. And so one of the things that I'm really good at is networking and bringing like a solid force out when it comes to sharing people's information. You know, I do it all the time anyway, but we're gonna increase, we're bringing more to the community, because as opportunities come to me, I don't want to just sit on the opportunities by myself. I want to say, okay, I know Will, for example, he has, you know, a business where he helps people's, you know, fixes people's heaters and things of that nature. I know Madeline has events coming up and she has a book. I know Dr. Magali, she's a powerful, you know, speaker and she's a principal and she has information. I know James has a property in Philly. How do we bring all of these different people into communities that they wouldn't necessarily have access to? So that's what I'm working on now. And we have opportunities coming up. Not only am I going to be out on May 1st, but I'll be out, I think, for the first whole week of May. And I may have to get a actual Airbnb or something in Brooklyn, because I will be in Brooklyn every day in May for the first week of May. So if you want me to share your information with people, investors, bankers, and different entrepreneurs, as well as some celebrities will be in my spaces during the first week of May, let me know, DM me, and let me know what your product is, what your business is, so that we could share with the public. So I just wanted to drop that information, that PSA, so that you all know what we're working on presently. All right, sound good? Will, you unmuted yourself, Will. Hello, talk to us.
I'm here.
Hi, oh, you're back. Oh, you're not driving right now.
I'm not driving.
Okay, what did you want to share?
I don't know. What do you want me to share?
Well, in regards to what we were talking about, I wasn't sure if you were on the last Zoom in regards to the eminent domain in Harlem and that situation where they're stripping the business owner's property. Welcome, Dream Keep Consulting LLC. We have so many great people on with us tonight. So I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to share in regards to that topic where, you know, the city is just going to steal the people's land to create an. And here's the craziest part, again, to me, how asinine this is. They don't even know what they're going to do with the building space. They're going to tear it down more than likely, and they're not going to have anything there. And they're probably going to have scaffolding there for God knows how long. And the train itself that they're building on 2nd Avenue is so many blocks away. But the bottom line is we're talking about this because we as Black people don't typically know our rights, nor that we can come against these types of issues. So what would you like to share about that? Hi, Rebecca, welcome.
Historic, I'm not a lawyer, but historically, I can tell you that the government, they're gonna do what they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, absolutely. The man, you know, he has a right, he could sue, he could get them in court and so forth and so on, and hopefully he'll have a judge side in his favor. But when it comes to things like that, you know, like governments seizing people's property to create public space, usually from experience with the Barclay and, you know, and watching how things work, hopefully that brother get compensated very well. That's all I can say. You know, but at the end of the day, the government, they're gonna do what they want to do, what they feel like is in their best interest, and they're gonna try to show that to a judge that's gonna more likely lean in their favor.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
It is the government. You're absolutely right. And it's almost like beating your head on a wall because these people do whatever the heck they want anyway, it seems, right?
Right.
Wow.
Listen, they want everybody to follow the rules, but they don't follow the rules.
I love it. They're above the law. In other words, they are above the law. Yeah.
Sadly, you know.
I know. And that's why we need more people, you know, that care for our communities to really stand up for us, because unfortunately, we are lacking some real solid politicians and those that can really make effective change. And what just happened with Brian Benjamin, for example, breaks my heart. I didn't want to bring it up, but I mean, you know, I thought he was a stand-up guy. I still love him and I still respect him as a brother because he has been there for me. But I think that's a classic case of what you're referring to, Will, where you're working in government, you're working in power, what have you, you're a politician, but you're acting like you're above the law, and the law does it's here for everybody to follow. But when you do it, you definitely get in a lot more trouble than your counterparts.
Right.
It's just so much. It's so much. But I had to get everybody's opinion on this situation this evening. Thomas says that voice sounds familiar. Are you talking about my voice? Because you know my voice. I think he might be talking about you, Will, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't met you yet. Thomas is on Instagram now, sharing. Yes, Rebecca, I'm so glad Rebecca's with us here. Rebecca's a business owner. She's super great energy. Love the work that she's doing. And I would love for her to come on to our platform as well to share, the work that she's doing in her communities. I had another powerful thing I was supposed to share this evening in regards to business opportunities. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, do some of that on Friday. And then we're going to do more of that sharing on next Wednesday for Team ECI. This subject really took a lot out of us tonight because it's a lot of information, and I'm so glad that we're all here. And Dr. Magali sharing some great information in the chat, so that is so awesome. Absolutely, Rebecca, we want you to be on our platform to share the work that you do, so I'll be honored for you to be a part of our conversations. And another thing that I wanted to share, shouts out to Tylisha, AKA Miss Ocean. Queen Ocean is in San Antonio, Texas. She's in a different time zone. Yes, we know, sister, you're in a different time zone. We're so proud of you. I think this is her first time taking a flight, and I'm so proud of her. She got to a destination in Texas safely. Shouts out to Mr. People Le People. Mr. People is on watching as well. And we have so many great people watching. So last but not least, the SBA community reached out to me. I don't know if you guys are aware, ladies and gentlemen, during the summer or the past couple of years, there have been, EIDL loans that were distributed. Monies were given to small business owners and things of that nature. And unfortunately, people like myself who didn't have all my ducks in a row, all my paperwork together, I wasn't able to get monies from the SBA because you have to have like a lot of paperwork together and things of that nature. And that's one of the things I talk about because of my fight for Haiti for like 6 months straight. I missed out on a lot of money, guys. I potentially missed out on like maybe even close to $1 million for the work that I do, advertising opportunities, just a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts. But I got reached out to by some people that work very closely with the SBA, and that's for all of you business owners. It's time for us to get our paperwork together because apparently there's still like $40 billion left in the funding for the SBA for small businesses. And I'm working with a business now to help get other people, those funds distributed, right, into our communities. So I'm supposed to share a whole lot more about that, but I'll do my part to share on Friday as well as next Wednesday. I'll take a dedicated time to share more information so that it's not just jumbled. But if you're interested in speaking with the persons that are responsible for that entity, let me know, and we can definitely set you up to communicate with them because there's about, again, $40 billion still in the SBA funding. And if you don't know what the SBA is, it's for small businesses. People like Will, you may qualify, Madeline. James, I don't know if you have your paperwork together.
Well, let me ask you this question, right?
Sure.
My business wasn't registered until last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't registered before COVID, nothing like that. So I don't know if that still qualifies me. I mean, I love some free money now.
I know, trust me.
Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't a registered business until last year.
So that is a hang up. So apparently you had to have been registered like by 2019 or 2018 or so. However, that doesn't mean that you're totally out of the loop. There might be special circumstances that may still be able to qualify you for whatever reason. Hi, people. I can connect you with the man. So DM me when we're done or send me a message and say, sis, don't forget, whatever, connect me because I want to work with this person and see what can happen. Because I'm a strong believer that rules can be broken and they should be broken, as we just talked about. There might be a loophole for you somewhere. And then of course, like I said, I'm also working with the banks now and people that I have access to that I never thought I would have access to before. But I keep pushing forward and I keep trying different things. And because of those efforts, we're seeing that people are coming out, reaching out, and things like that. So with that being said, reach out to me and I can get you in contact with them. Give me about 24 hours to take care of a few things, and then remind me, and then we could take it from there, because we want to see how many of our companies out here can actually really benefit from the SBA. And of course, all those monies have been going to other communities, by the way, communities that don't look like us, because they know the system of having all your ducks in a row, like all your paperwork, your taxes, your whatever else, that qualifies you, they know that stuff. We typically don't. So let's jump on it. Okay, my dear? Perfect. Anything else that I missed this evening? Oh, another announcement. So the foster care community, I know this is like a lot for tonight, but if you're a loving person, if you have a heart to take in children, hey, Dreva fam, what's up? Dre, I haven't heard from Dre in a minute. He's on Facebook. Share with everybody you know. I'm also a foster mom, and I am somebody who's always looking out for my community, especially communities of color. We need more people. We need more people of color to become foster parents. We have a serious situation with people, like young people that do not have placement, that don't have loving homes, and they have to live in like shelters, as well as in places like children's facilities and things of that nature. So my job, as a part of the activism community, advocacy, and things like that, I went to the foster care community and I said, listen, I know of people that have space in there and that are very nice and that they're caring. And they said, AniYa, if you want to connect us, to people that may be able to be a foster parent, first of all, let us know. And they do the screening. I speak with you first, of course. They do compensate families that take in children, but I don't want anybody to take in children for compensation, but I'm just letting you know that they do help you out if you do take in a child. But if you're a nice person and you want to become a foster parent, let me know and I can help put you in position, because it's a very hard process when you don't know anybody inside. Your paperwork or your calls go to nowhere land. And I don't want that to happen to my community. So if you do have space in your home, if you are a nice person, and if you have a caring heart to take in a child and help them for their lives and their future, and you want to see them succeed, let your girl AniYa A know, and I will put you in contact. How does that sound? Good?
They have children who are young, like below 5 years of age.
Oh, sorry, you were breaking up. Sorry, everybody, can you mute your phones real quick? If I think there's some background noise. Go ahead, Dr. Magali.
Are the children below 5 years of age, or are they teenagers or babies? Because I don't want to do teenagers.
All ages, Dr. Magali. So they have babies. Literally, some of the babies come right from the hospitals. If you all didn't know, some of the babies come right from the hospital. Some parents are not able to take care of the child, or literally has an issue that the doctors and the hospital staff won't let the baby go home with them. I'm a former foster sister, just to let you know why I'm super passionate about this. I helped my parents become foster parents many years ago. And in South Florida, one of the cases that broke my heart was baby Harley. And how I know about this is because I have personal experience. Baby Harley's mother was on crack really bad. And the doctors had told her, listen, if you keep up this crack thing as a pregnant woman, we're going to take baby Harley from you when you give birth. And she just was like, this crack is just too strong type deal. And she continued on the crack. But interestingly enough, when baby Harley was born, baby Harley was like a normal baby. Like, I mean, I fell in love with her. And she was white, by the way. She was a white baby. And you would have thought that was my child, because I mean, she was so innocent and she was just so precious. But she had, like, I always heard crack babies were kind of, wild out there, you know what I mean? But she wasn't a crack baby to me. She was just a precious little thing. And she came right from the hospital. And after, I think 9 months or so, she was taken to her grandmother. when and who's baby Harley? Baby Harley is the young baby that we took care of that came right out of the hospital, who was a crack baby, but she made it and she was beautiful. They never, I don't think, gave custody to the mother again, but they do have babies in foster care. They have teenagers, they have little children. So they have all ages. And one of the things that I would love to see, now here's me putting out good energy out to the world. I would love to see us as a community really try our best to take in children, also share this information with others. If you have the time, if you have the space, you know, and you're able to do it, great. Here's another idea, right? Because a lot of people are looking like, how would I ever be able to do this? If you have a lot of space and things like that, I would say hire somebody that may need a job that can help you, right? That can help you a few hours a week or whatever to not only help them make a little extra cash, but also help you with the child, right? That's like a help situation for everybody. And then furthermore, if you could take in more than one child, why not? You're giving children a space in the world to help better them. So it's not a long process. So don't be afraid to become a foster parent. Now everything is done through Zoom, and you could sit on your computer and take the classes. I think every class is different, but the one I did was, I think, 6 months every Saturday morning. I dedicated a Saturday morning, a few hours a week, and I became a foster mom. They come and they do an inspection of your property to make sure you're not lying about anything. And they just want to make sure your home is up to code. So, hey, and of course, being an advocate, I'm like, how do I get other people on board? I want other people to be foster parents. So I'm sharing that with you all because it's really on my heart. And I'll be sharing this a lot more with the community. Madeline, you have your hand up, my love?
Yeah, what's the difference between a foster mom and a child that you adopt, like you go to the adoption process?
There is a difference, and there are different procedures. Interestingly enough, though, in the state of New York, if you want to adopt a foster child, you can, and they also help you with that. Adoptions are typically like where parents give up their rights, like automatically, like, I don't want this baby, or I don't want this child. I don't want to be in their life. Or I want to be in their life, but I don't want them to be their parent, but I'm giving them up for adoption. Adoption is like theoretically long-term forever. Whereas the foster care system is typically like, I'm a crackhead, or I'm smoking too much weed, or my man beats me up, the CDC or whatever, ACS, you know, what is the acronym? Doctor, in Florida, it's one thing, in New York, it's another, whatever the association.
Agency for Children's Services, ACS.
ACS, thank you. The ACS comes in and investigates and sees that you're unfit to be a parent for the moment or what have you. So what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll take the child and put the child in a holding kind of situation until they can find a foster parent that can help take care of the child, baby, children, or what have you, until the parent gets their life back in order, or they find a family member or even a good friend that says, you know what, my friend is, you know, stupid, they don't know what they're doing, but I love the child like my own, I can take in the child. So then what happens is the foster care community takes the child from that foster family, that foster parent, and places that child, again, either back with their parents because they met all the qualified things that they had to do, or they take them to that family member. And yes, Dream Keeper, AKA Rebecca, says, yes, ACS, laugh out loud. I'm telling you, these acronyms, I promise you I'm the worst, because of the fact that I used to live in Florida. It was DCF there. New York is ACS. I mean, it's just too much. It's just too much. So thank you so much. Rebecca should know a lot about this too, because I believe, Rebecca, you are a director in this space. So I would love for you to help me. Maybe next week we could do something live with Rebecca, whom I feel knows a lot more about this topic too. So I would love for Rebecca and I to talk about that, and she could help get more information out there to you all. But again, becoming a foster parent, a lot of times people have this negative connotation about foster care, but it's not like as bad or crazy as it looks. These children are literally innocent in a lot of situations, and their parents, sometimes they can't kick a habit, like baby Harley's mom. You know, she was a woman that was on crack, and her addiction was just so overpowering that it just completely blinded her senses. It completely made her unaware of her baby that was coming into the world, and she could not keep her child. And then there's the domestic violence side of things. So another thing, there's domestic violence issues, there's mental health issues, there's sexual abuse issues. When you sign up for foster care, just to give you like just a little bit of, you know, information, so you can never say, and I never told me. When you do sign up for foster care, just know that it's like you don't have a choice as to the child that comes into your home. So we want you to be prepared. We want you to be prepared to know that it could be any type of child at any moment. But just if you're a loving person and you care, you can make it happen for a child. Any other questions about this?
Modeling, basically, when you adopt a child, that child becomes modeling's baby, because
Yes.
that child gets your surname, etc. And you know, the child becomes your
Permanent.
baby. Whereas a foster child is, you are the temporary guardian until things change. And in some instances, things may not always change for that child to go either back to their parent or parents or a family member. So the foster care system provides a minor compensation while the child's in your care. And whereas if you decide to adopt, all the financial responsibilities pertaining to that child's day-to-day needs are your responsibility.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Magali. We have comments coming in real quick. And of course, if anybody has any questions or concerns, please share. Dream Keep Consulting says, there are so many acronyms in the nonprofit world. Absolutely, positively. I'm a supervisor of kinship care. I need you to explain that. Advocate for all Black hood youth, though. So I help train workers that work with youth in systems. I love it. Her and I had a great conversation about that. She trains the people to really be able to work with our young people in the hood. She is against communities of different like platforms. I don't want to go into detail about our conversation, but my sister said she's working with the hood and nothing but the hood. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what? It's funny. A lot of our people go out of the hood, right, Alexis? They will leave the hood and be like, I ain't dealing with these ghetto, whatever the heck. And then they forget that some of them are from the hood too. And then literally they needed somebody at one point, but our community tends to be real selfish after they have gone to that next level. So I appreciate Rebecca so much. Survivor. Yes, she was. So I was in that system and she was in that system. So she knows firsthand. I can't wait. I can't wait for her to be on this platform to share her story and her experiences and her work. And for Thomas, who's writing in, are you still in touch with baby Harley? Unfortunately, no. Another thing about fostering is sometimes you get access to the child after a few years or what have you, but more than likely, once that child is removed from your care, you could try your best to follow up with that child's progress, their lives, etc. But if it's not an open situation between the caregiver and the foster care community, then you'll never speak to that child again. You'll never know what happened to that child. But all you can do is do your best while you have that child in your care. What is the number, where they live? Huh? If you want to reach out to AniYa A, please reach out at 347-617-6873. And if this is in regards to the foster care situation, let me know and I'll be able to disseminate that information to you for sure. But I want to speak to people before I give out any information because these are coming from personal references. And I want to make sure that my people are on top of their game so they don't come back to AniYa like, AniYa, you sent me a crazy person, I'm going to slap you. No, I'm going to screen everybody. Wait a minute, I forgot. Welcome, Queen Jenny is here this whole time. Queen Jenny, sorry, my love, welcome. And wait, Dr. Magley, did you have anything you wanted to share? Because I saw you.
Yes, because I posted like 10 different addresses and prices in the chat of homes that are for sale in Maryland. And as we were speaking, I looked on the Redfin app because I subscribe to that app and it's free. Redfin and Trulia. And so that's how, because you'll see a picture of the home, the number of bedrooms and the prices and the real estate broker. There are at least 10 there. So that's one piece of information. Addresses and prices are in the chat. The other thing at the end of the chat, that the government is giving money or reimbursing people. If you or someone you know lost a family member or someone due to COVID, the government is offering up to 9,000 reimbursement. Now, I don't have the phone number in hand, but I'll make it my business to send it to AniYa.
Thank you, Dr. Magali. Any information is so appreciative. And again, this is why we have Team ECI, for all of you sexy and amazing people to share great information. We're gonna let Queen Jenny introduce herself, and then we're gonna come back to your question, Mr. Thomas Walker 2005. Go ahead, Queen Jenny.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Hi. I want to congratulate everyone on their great effort to making their presence known and being a part of this very great show. It's much needed, AniYa. You're doing a tremendous work in the community, and each one of us count, and I'm looking for greater and better things for all of us, because unity is our strength.
Thank you, Queen Jenny. She is such a beautiful spirit, and I'm so glad she's here. She's beautiful on the inside and out. So we
thank you
and all the hard work that you're putting forward. And don't forget, we have a lot of information that we've shared this evening. So if anybody wants me to repeat anything, let me know. If you need any contact information from Dr. Magali, get in contact with us, 347-617-6873. And we have
really quickly, Dr. Magali wrote about Tiffany Elite earlier in the chat. She is a great resource and someone who went from literally owing thousands of dollars to now like a multi-millionaire and a great Black person. I'm part of her Live Richer Academy. It would be great to have her on this platform, but she lost her husband last year, so she hasn't been doing a lot of the community work. But I think she came back last week and said she'll be up to talking to people again starting this summer. So it'd be great to reach out and just have her share important information with us. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. She has a little one. So we will definitely follow up with you on that, Modeling. I know your little one is out there running it up in that house. So maybe he'll go to, oh no, he just woke up from a nap. So good luck tonight, sister. I was gonna say, maybe he'll go to sleep after he runs around, but he just woke up from a nap. So good luck with that. Before you head out, do you want to share anything, ma'am, with the community or anything like that?
Just earlier,
come in. Yeah. We have my girl, Miss Alexis, in the building, and she remembered what she wanted to say. Praise the Lord. Come in close.
I don't know why I get nervous coming on here.
Why do you get nervous?
I don't know. Okay. Hi, I'm Alexis. But what I wanted to say, just a little comment. I'm from Indiana. So one thing about being in Indiana, like I grew up experiencing blatant racism. Like it was just out there in your face. And so when I moved to New York, I was all proud and excited. Like, yeah, there's not going to be extreme racism like there is in Indiana. And I get here, it's just as racist, except for it's just so hidden here, and it's hidden well that they do it with the rent. I was just like, yo, the rent, yeah, no, that's all that I really have to say is that I didn't realize how racist New York City was. I'm like, oh, no.
But that's so funny how she said it. They're racist with the rent. I'm loving it, and it's true. No, they are, because their biggest pull is to help you get homeless and you live on the streets, and then they help you once you have nothing, but then they put you in not so nice communities. And then they build up properties that they've stolen, literally, like what we're talking about near the Barclays Center, right? That's pure racism.
I didn't know Jay-Z did that. I wonder how he sleeps at night knowing that he's a part of the displacement of some Black family.
Well, no, it's not just Jay-Z. We have politicians.
Of course, okay. But Jay-Z is supposed to be this, oh my God, such a great Black businessman from the hood. He's from Marcy Project. So
right.
That's just what I think. you know.
Yeah, it's something to be said about our communities, and that's why when we get in power, a lot of times we forget. And I like to utilize the example, especially with the Haitian community, like and Rebecca says, I'm sorry you thought it was different. I'm done with Rebecca. Rebecca
I
is a
know.
mess.
I learned the hard way.
Rebecca is a hot mess. I love it.
In
And
fact,
she's
it's
laughing.
worse.
It is
For the simple fact that it's hidden. See, where I'm from, they're just out there. They will let you know.
In Florida too.
We do not like you people. We want you people over there. Here,
it's hidden.
hi. Yeah, we don't really like them.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute,
Democrats,
what?
they have the whole democratic process, which is secretly code for we're going to let them think that they have a right to do something, and then we're going to strip all those rights away. Let me share this. It's so funny because with the politicians and things of that nature, you know, they literally get into position and then they're bought out. It's like they lose all their moral value, their scruples, all of those things that are supposed to make them great and what made them, you know, become appealing to us. And then they literally sell us out. Well, in regards to the Haitian community too, one thing I always tell people, because when I fight for the Haitian community, the immigrants, for example, you know, that whole thing about me getting, you know, arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge and traveling to Texas looking for my immigrants and things like that. People have literally said stupid things like, why are you fighting for the Haitian people? They're so ungrateful. Look at these people. And these are Haitian people that are saying this. They're sitting there and saying that I'm stupid for fighting for the next person that needed help.
Somebody had to fight for them.
That's what I was just gonna say. You read my mind. So literally, not only did somebody fight for them, they opened the damn doors for them. So what they've done, ready? This is the analogy. They crossed over that bridge, then they burnt down whatever was left of that bridge, so that they could be on the safe side, and whoever was trying to get on the other side, screw you, you don't deserve a pass. But somebody opened that bridge up for you to walk over.
Oh. And what you say back to them? See,
What I say back to them is, you don't want, I can't say it on Facebook, Instagram, or on YouTube because they will cancel me.
Oh.
And I say it in my country language too, in my native tongue. I give it to them good.
Oh my gosh. See,
I really say some really bad things to them, and then I block them forever. That's how I deal with it, because I mean, I cannot understand how, and Black people always do this, but notice that the white man, he will create something and he will bring his fellow white man along.
As he should.
But our
I
Negroes,
can't even be mad at white people for what they do. You know, Malcolm X said it best. They're a bunch of blue-eyed devils. What does the devil do? Steal, kill, and destroy, and claim everything to be theirs. I can't even be mad at them for that, because they've been getting away with it for so long. That's what they're used to. But
That's
good
what they're
goddamn,
accustomed.
Black people need to do that too. Well, we don't need to steal, kill, and
we
destroy.
don't do it, yeah.
But we
already
definitely
do
need
that,
to
you know.
stick to.
We should stick together.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. This is why we have these collaborative efforts, because hopefully somebody will learn and hopefully a life will change.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I have got to say this because it's burning inside.
Go ahead, sister.
In our community, not all skin folks or kin folk, we have collaborators up in here, and you have to recognize who's a collaborator, who's going to sell you for the fastest dollar. And so once we learn that, you don't work with these people, you mark them out there. If you Haitian, you know what I mean. You mark them out them, because they are hurting the progress.
Yeah.
They are, you know, setting us back years. So if you're a collaborator, get away from me. That's what I say to people like that. Get away from me, because you're hurting my personal progress.
Absolutely. Sister, you can say whatever you want. I'm telling you right now, this is an open forum and a space. That's why we have what we have here. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Oh, Bay of Wakanda says period with a T at the end. That's it, sister. Go ahead, Dr. Magali, you're on.
It's that crab in a barrel mentality about pulling each other down, but it's also the field slave versus the house slave mentality that continues to exist in our communities across the country and across the globe. And so it's up to people like us to change the trajectory, to change the paradigm so that we do better. But the other thing I posted in the chat was all the conversation occurring now with Governor Hochul about the cannabis industry. Now that cannabis is legal in the state of New York, and they have information, she's offering informational sessions to learn more about how to become a cannabis dispensary distributor. and they're targeting people who in their previous lifetimes were arrested for marijuana possession or whatever, so that they have a piece of that pie. Because here's what I will leave you with this evening, because I have to go, that when you look at Colorado, because it was one of those states early on where they legalized marijuana, well, ordinary average folks are now millionaires off of the cannabis industry.
Yes.
And so, we all are not into it. I've never smoked. I'm not into it. And I'm not even interested in becoming a dispenser or distributor. But nonetheless, we need to empower our folks to know that it's an avenue or a venue out there so that those who may be able to pursue it can.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And no, Christine Hollins is watching. Christine, you are always welcome, my dear. Christine is actually a product of the foster care system herself, because Christine had a very tragic situation growing up. I don't know if I could share publicly, but Christine shares her story often, and it breaks my heart what her father did to her mother. And it's a very sad situation. But Christine is a survivor and stronger because of it. So I thank you, Christine. We love you. And we respect the fact that you continue to have strength to keep fighting no matter what. We had 2 more people joining. I know Dr. Magali has to go, but give us 5 more minutes. You two, if you can, 5 more minutes. We have Blessed in the building, and we have Kimberly Sanchez Ortiz. Wow, we're getting more people on tonight. Woohoo! Join us now. Come on in and come on in. Okay, Blessed, please reintroduce yourself. By the way, my Batui Blessed, I haven't seen your face in so long, Blessed. Reintroduce yourself to the people. Blessed Sampreneur, are you?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Oh, okay, Ricardo, go ahead. Hi, do you want to introduce yourself?
I don't have cam.
You what?
I don't have cam.
He doesn't have his cam. He can't turn on his video.
He can't turn on his camera, no problem. And I hear a little issue with the language barrier. Hi, Lady C, welcome. Okay, Blessed Sampreneur, would you like to introduce yourself? Camila, Maza, where are these people coming from? Oh, I think there's a thing. I think there's a scamming situation because these are all. Hi, Camila, are you there? Oh, they got us. Hold on, we have to block these people.
Being Zoom bombed.
Yeah, Zoom bomb. Remove. Okay, they're gone.
Oh.
Yeah, we got bombed. Okay, no problem. Y'all ain't coming back. I know that. Goodbye. Okay, well, Sampreneur is probably busy with something. I have to go, but I'll try to hop on next. Okay, no problem, Rebecca. We appreciate you, and I want to interview you for sure with the work that you do, Miss Rebecca. And Blessed, Sampreneur is a business person. He is investing a lot. Oh, he is not able to speak. Okay, great. So I'll just share a little bit about Blessed. His name is Sampreneur. He joined us from Instagram. He is a great member of Team ECI. He lives in Kentucky or Tennessee. I can't remember one of those southern states. He has businesses with his wife, and he loves to talk about cryptocurrency and all the things happening in the crypto space. So we have that brother that is here. He's not able to speak though. All right, I think we did really, really good this evening. We are looking for vendors to support our May 21st educational event. So Dr. Magali, let us know what that looks like. But definitely I would love to be a speaker, as you know, Dr. Magali, and we will see what we can do. And I have a table. I have to get a table, by the way. I have a table, and then I have the backdrop. We're making t-shirts. We're making, different things to advertise. So we will definitely be there on the 21st, God willing, because I'm supposed to pop out a kid soon, guys. By the way, I'm pregnant. I'm pretty big as a pregnant woman. And the date keeps changing, so pray for me. But I'm gonna keep doing what I can until this kid comes and meets us in the world. Praise the Lord. We are also hosting a scholarship and gala. Ooh, go ahead, Dr. Magali. See, Dr. Magali, I'm so loving it. I'm loving, Oh my God, Biko just scared the life out of me. Oh my God. Here's my father's grandfather here who's scaring me half to death. Yes, so we are definitely looking forward to all of these events, Dr. Magali.
Oh, Mr. Biko.
Oh my God, it'd be our people, our own people scaring us half to death. Anybody else on Instagram?
Kimberly, ¿puedes decir que me metan al grupo, porfa?
What is this Ricardo talking about? Bro, you are about to get kicked out.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know him. I don't know that man. I think he got, I think he's a spammer. I don't know. He is a spammer, it looks like too. Offensive, I'm just gonna say offensive. I don't even know. But Kimberly's not saying anything, so Kimberly could stay as long as she don't act crazy either, because we're not playing these games in 2022. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we've covered so much today. High school seniors of Haitian American descent. We need it. Oh, and Dr. Magali, again, real quick, as a principal, do you ever talk about the idea or the opportunities of studying and traveling abroad with your students? Do you have those opportunities available?
My school is notorious for traveling. I sent groups of kids to both Obama presidential inauguration.
What?
My kids have been to London, Canada. I am a firm believer in classroom beyond the classroom walls, because you have to expose students to other cultures, places, for them to understand their role, their place in the world. So yes.
Amen. I knew we were connected for a reason. Praise the good old Lord. So we're both excited about that, right, Alexis?
No, that's something that's needed.
That's so needed. And we're so happy that you have done that for your children. And we're so excited by the role that you play as an educator, honey. You say educator, I say educator. AniYa Aisho, how are you feeling this evening? I'm feeling great. Oh, and to answer Thomas real quick, I became a foster sister. Huh? Sure, whatever. I became a foster sister when my parents wanted to help children in the communities, and we didn't have orphanages in South Florida. And I found out that they could become a foster family, and I flew in to help take care of them when I was living in Atlanta. But now I want to do it because there's such a great need, and the need is getting greater every day. So that's why I signed up this time around to be a foster mother, because I'm older now and I could be a foster mother because I have my own place and I have the desire to really help the children. And I actually want to have a support family situation where I can have a facility or like a big house with a bunch of kids running around. Of course, I would have to hire several people to help me because I can't do that by myself. Amen and praise the Lord. All right, so that's another thing. If you want to have a support system, you have to be intentional. You have to put it out there. Whatever you need, it will happen for you. All right, I think we got everything. Anybody have any concerns or questions or anything they want to add for our next platform? Now is the time to share. And I have to tell you. Oh, I see thumbs up, so that's good. I guess we covered everything on tonight, y'all. We covered everything. All right, Madeline, let's follow up with Dr. Maggie. Dr. Magali, the thing never showed up to the facility, so we have to call Amazon. If that's okay with you, we can chat about that later. Amazon be bugging, trust me, I know. I am interested in being involved with fostering. We got somebody else that's excited about foster caring. So, okay, Lady C, let's have a conversation after. Call me 347-617-6873. 347-617-6873. Call me and I will do a quick screening and then see what we can get you started with. The sooner the better. Amen. All right, guys. Madeline, if you are interested, Dr. Magali, are you interested in becoming a foster mom for sure?
I'm interested, but I want little people. I don't want, kids who are sexually active teenagers. And, and I only have sons, so.
Yeah, I got you. So after this, we could have a conversation or whenever you're available. And
they will have to be like 5 and younger.
No problem. As long as you have the space and you have what it takes, honey, we got you. We have all sorts of little ones in the foster care system. So
AniYa, I want to give back my 2, so I don't think you want me to.
I want to give back mine
I
too.
want to give them back most days.
Oh my God, I know that's my sister.
You
But
would not be
That's
able
the
to
right
live
time right
without them.
you will not. That's it. You'll miss
I
them.
can see that in my future, but not right now.
No problem, my love. No problem. Look, somebody tried to give me their child today before the show started. They're like, AniYa, we wanted to come and see you. And by the way, do you want to keep him? No, I do not. What am I going to do with mine that comes? And I'm pretty boring right now because I can barely move. These kids have energy, honey. And this was a 3-year-old too. I said, oh no, what am I going to do with a 3-year-old father? Anyway, that's funny. You're welcome, Lady C. All right, we had comments coming in all over Instagram and Facebook tonight. Tonight has been super powerful, and I think we hit every nail on the head. Let's communicate, guys. Again, SBA funding is still available for all those that need funding for their small businesses. There's SBA available. There's foster care available. There's a lot happening, and I'm now going out into the communities to do some face-to-face events. So I'm able to share your products and your businesses with others in the community. And plus we have the platform where we're relaunching the website and more advertisement is available to all of you. So I'm super excited about what the future holds. And I want us all to stay connected. And for you, Mr. James, definitely hit me up and say, AniYa, I want to be part of Team ECI, and then we can make that happen now. Oh, Nayaba is watching. Nayaba of the Harlem Amsterdam News. That's one of the oldest newspapers in New York City, I think, or in the world. Amsterdam News is one of the oldest newspapers in New York City. Okay, so that is awesome that Nayaba is watching us now. And I was recently, featured in the Harlem Community News, which is super exciting. I was featured in Harlem Community News as a businesswoman, one of the top businesswomen in Harlem. And who would have thought, again, this little Haitian, American from Brooklyn would be in spaces like Harlem, doing business and leading the way in this industry. Growing up, just a quick last story. Growing up, I was always reading Maya Angelou and the books from the Harlem Renaissance, and they gave me so much I want to say so much inspiration and motivation to continue to live. As a darker skinned Black woman in South Florida, I experienced a lot of racism. I'm not going to go through all of it tonight, but just know it was very painful growing up in South Florida and then in New York City. It was two different experiences. And in South Florida, it was like all my life I had to fight. Literally, I was getting into physical fist fights and stabbing people. It was a lot because I was taught how to fight from New York. So I took my New York stuff to Florida because they were being stupid down there. Long story short, I'm having to fight all these people and everything like that because they were so racist. And these white kids were calling me all sorts of N-words and things. And I read Harlem Renaissance books and books from Maya Angelou to give me strength, right? To help me overcome, my problems, because psychologically, I'm thinking there's no such thing as slavery or any problems with Black and white, because growing up in New York, like we discussed tonight, it's not shown. We know the racism is there, but it's not like in your face, you're an NIGG, you know what I mean? Fast forward in Florida, I read a lot of Black books and watched a lot of Black movies to help empower me, to strengthen me, because I didn't have that inner love. And today I'm doing business in Harlem, New York. I'm doing business in Harlem. I'm in newspapers in Harlem. I have office space in Harlem. And it's like God was hearing my prayers as a little girl. And he helped me to manifest the very dream that I'm living today. So I just had to share that. And as Nayaba is sharing on my platform that she's loving the show, it makes me feel so blessed to know that this beautiful sister is working hard to put our information into mainstream media through this newspaper, this powerful newspaper, and she's watching us tonight. So thank you, Nayaba, for watching and sharing your love for your girl, AniYa A, and for the rest of the beautiful Black faces, beautiful brown faces and Black faces that you see on this platform this evening. I'm so empowered. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed. God is good. Let's manifest greatness, guys. Let's continue to be awesome, and let's continue to just live our best lives. And with that said, we're gonna shut it down.
Before we go, Maudlin, I send you 2 direct messages in the chat. So before, maybe you could just take a
May
picture.
I say something before leave?
Go ahead.
Yes, I will hope maybe next year
Okay.
to be organized for 2,000 people, $20 days for 2,500 people, combine start for change their life for $18 million, $250,000. It can be happen, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's save our money and let's become multimillionaires. Right, James?
No, because I want to see organized for 2,500 people, $20 day, combine for one time for 1 year to 2,500 people can be connected for $18,250,000 to invest to change life for 2,500 people for 1 year.
Okay. In other words, you want to see us in the community save $20 a day. And by 2025, we have $18 million saved, 2,500 people saving $20 a day.
Yes, yes.
And then by 2025 or so, we'll have $18 million.
18,250,000.
Oh, so he already did the math, honey. He's not playing with us tonight. Well, I will say this. A while ago, I learned from somebody that if you save actually $20, if I'm not sure, $20 or $25 a day, did you know you could save $10,500 a year? I think if that's
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're on to
$10 gonna be 6,650.
He's onto something. So what I started doing, you all, is literally, you could do this right from your bank account. Here's a top secret. You can take your bank account and you can set it up to send money from your checking to your savings every day. They can take out $20 and put it towards your savings every single day. And you can actually save $10,500 a year in a blink of an eye. It sounds impossible, but it's so worth it. And I didn't start with 20 a day. I started with 25 like every couple of days. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go back and reconstruct it, and I will do that. $20 a day will give me 10,500, I think, for a year. And then
no, $20 a day is going to be give you 7,300.
Well, 25, I think, a day will give you, I think, 10,000 a year.
Yes, if you put 25, yeah.
There you go. So let's try to do that, guys. If you guys want to set up something, let me know. And everybody set up your accounts and make it happen for yourselves. And, there's so much. You just made me think of one last thing, guys. One last thing. There is a group called, it's a Susu. I don't know if you all know about the Susu thing. There's a Susu that I have information on that literally is all technology based. And I work very closely with that community as well. It's already past 9 o'clock. I'm gonna let you all go, but I'll drop the information in our group chat. And if anybody's interested in the Susu hand, I think that'll be another great thing to do as well, because we need to save as much money as possible. So again, there's so much tonight. Oh my God, I feel so blessed to have been able to share all this information with all of you. And the more you learn, please share with us. And the more we learn, we'll share with you. But tonight I'm gonna drop the foster care information in our group chat. And I will share the Susu information in our group chat. And Dr. Magali, whatever you've posted here, I'm gonna see if I can get this information into our group chat as well, because it's such great information. I think I would have to do a copy and paste and download it. So I'm gonna try to work on that for sure. All right, I think we've covered everything. Tonight has been super great. We'll be back for Team ECI next week, Wednesday. But again, if you're interested in speaking to any of us all day, every day, during the week, we're available 24 hours a day at 347-617-6873. Text now and say, AniYa, please put us on to Team ECI. We want to work with your group and your community, and we will make sure you are added. Nayaba Arinde, my love, thank you, I love you. To my girl, Miss, my God, Alexis Hardman, I love you. Thank you. I almost called you wet sushi publicly, honey. Alexis Hardman is here. Thank you so much to all of you. You've done such a great job this evening with your information and your commentaries. Rebecca, Thomas, Lady C, Bay of Wakanda, Mr. Biko Biko. I mean, you all are so fabulous. I love you, James. Thank you for coming on. Get in contact. Let's make it happen. And I will look into Emni FX as well, Dr. Magali. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for having
Good
me.
night, everyone.
Bisous, bisous. See you on
Bisous, bisous.
CBCI. Bye.
Alright.
Bye, Queen Jenny. Bye,
Bye.
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 Bye, Will. Drive safe out there. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night, good night. Safe travels.
All right, Dr. Magali, let's talk, follow up. Bye, Queen Jenny. All right.
You want me to call you, or you call me?
You can call me when you're available. I'm here.
Oh, can we,
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah,
can we talk at 9:30 or
Yeah.
immediately?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
It's 9:27 now. Call you in 3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.